Okay. So today I get to sit down and talk with Gina, who I had the pleasure of meeting at a women's networking event. And from the moment I walked into the room and met you, you just have this beautiful light about you. You are so funny.
Thank you.
Um, and you just really are a gal's gal, I feel like.
I am.
Um,
I am.
support,
I am.
supporting other women.
For
Um,
sure.
and you've definitely built a platform using that. And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about how you build up other women, what you feel like your purpose is, and just get to know you a little bit better.
Ah, thanks. I like that. All right. Cool. That's going to be easy for me. I am a girl's girl. I have a really wonderful relationship with the first girl in my life, and that's my mother. So
Mhm.
I think the fact that I have such a healthy relationship with other women has a lot to do uh, with the fact that I have such a great relationship with my mom too. I never had competition or anything like that. So women are so important to me. The women in my life. It's funny. I actually just did a post about how grateful I am for the women in my life, my sister, my mom. But I think for me, my true passion is women with disabilities. Really, it is. I truly love women with disabilities. Being a wheelchair user myself, it's really important for me to give women with disabilities a platform that they feel like they can relate to.
Mhm.
And so that's my passion. My girls is just, serving them too much wine. I just hosted a black elephant party for me and all my ladies, and it was so fulfilling. I can't even begin to tell you. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's my jam.
Mhm. And I love that and just the community you're able to build and like from what I can see on social media.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so why is that so important to you?
Well, my platform's important to me because advocacy is so important to me. So when I have such a large audience, it allows me to make really big changes. And so, personally, because I actually have my law degree and my bachelor's in political science, so all of that's very important to me. Legislative stuff. I've been able to interview politicians. I've had abilities to go lobby in other states, in Washington D.C., here in Arizona. All because of my platform. Really a lot of it is, and I'm so great. Not all of it. I understand. Some of it is my hard work toward and dedication towards
Yes.
really caring about issues and following through. But more than that, it's about, having issues that other people relate to. I think that's so important for me in a platform. When I broke my neck 21 years ago, social media didn't exist. So I didn't know other wheelchair users other than, and by the way, don't worry, I'm not a cutter, but I burned the hell out of myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, I ran out of band-aids. And I was like, look at this. Oh, this is such a weird camera angle. It's like, meh, meh. But
Yes.
don't, I mean, and that's to you, those of you that are cutters out there, I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying that's not my current state of mind. Anyway, I realized like I should have taken that off. Shit.
Be yourself.
Yeah, that is my son. I cook a lot, so I had a pot that got stuck and it tilted over, and I had my Apple Watch on, and everything got stuck and burned
Bad
me, and I
news.
was like, oh. But anyway, back to all that. My platform is, and also I like to make disability relatable to able-bodied people. I spent most of my time, well, now most of my time has been in a wheelchair, but 18 years of my life, I was on 2 feet, and I was completely ignorant about disability.
Mhm.
Um, so I think for me, my platform needs to be palatable to like able-bodied people as much as it is to disabled people. Actually, I piss off more disabled people than I do able-bodied people. So I mean, it's true. I really do. They
Mhm.
yell at me all the time. They get so mad at me. But so not all of them, but there's a vocal minority, but it's because I'm edgy. It's because I ask and say things that a lot of us are thinking, but most of us aren't
Mhm.
really going to say out loud. So that's my platform. I'm really grateful. I actually have had wonderful things come from it. I've met incredible people. I've been able to build, shit, I made the town of Gilbert pay me $366,000 because I have this platform, right?
Hmm.
So it's really paid off, literally. I don't get paid from it. I know a lot of people ask me. So currently I've got 63,500 followers, I think. And I reach about 5 million people per month, which is crazy to me. And I can't even believe that. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Um, but you still don't get paid on the gram unless you get invited to the gram. So
Hmm.
hopefully someday, but I don't do it for money. And don't do ads. I refuse to do paid subscriptions because I need to be available to all my people, and I don't need to be selling things that are fake.
Yeah.
So
That's something that I wanted to talk about because when I did meet you again, it was a women's networking event for women who own their own businesses. And you were just like you shared a minute ago, you say what everyone's thinking, which is awesome. And you were like, I'm here. I don't own a business, but I want to advocate for you guys. And I want to share your products or your services and be able to post that because I do reach this many people. And there's not a lot of not just women, but anyone, people who are willing to do that and be like, I'm not going to charge. But that was something you made so clear. So can you share
yeah.
a little bit more about that and why that's important to you?
Yeah, it's important. Well, I went to this local networking. I have a platform that I feel like, a lot of people wish they had access. People do pay for those platforms to be able
Mhm.
to get videos that have shares or likes or views or all of that. And I actually haven't charged. I've gotten a free service here and there, maybe but like, I got the only thing I can think about is like these girls give me this great facial. And I was like, girl, I'm totally gonna like boost you.
Yeah.
You were awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I don't take any money or anything like that. And I think it's really important. So I really love my local community just as much as I love my female disabled community. And I think other women already struggle in business so much. Because they're trying to be mothers, they're trying to run a business, they're trying to do all these things. Women wear a lot of hats that oftentimes too go unseen.
Hmm.
And I think it's really important for all of us to support each other. And me being a female, like, for example, I've been, it's been the holidays and I haven't had a chance, but I've been really excited to go. One of the ladies there had a smoothie shop and she uses like no sugar and it's
Hmm.
monkey, what is it called? Oh, I should look it up because I was going to
It
Google
is.
it. I know where it
I
is.
want to say
I know
monkey
it
pod,
is.
but that's not right. I can
Yeah,
picture.
it's monkey something in Gilbert, Arizona. You guys, it's a
Yes.
smoothie shop. But I'm gonna go check out her stuff and I'm gonna post about it and I'm gonna share because I admire women that go out and they want to start their own thing.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying it's not hard for dudes. Like it is. Like shit, business is hard for everybody. But I think too, women really struggle a lot with, getting that feeling that confidence because society oftentimes really questions and doubts them a little bit more, and as much as I want to act like that doesn't exist, like it really does. And I've experienced it myself doing business and real estate and everything, and the way men will talk to me sometimes and I'm like, you do realize like I'm educated. Like I'm like, talk to me like that again, and I'm gonna like you're gonna get a slice of the silver tongue, I'm coming in
Yeah.
hot, right?
Hmm.
So I think that's kind of my platform. And also I really love the majority of my followers are women, actually. And
Hmm.
I really am proud of that. That's
Yeah.
something I find I have a lot of deep
I
pride in.
Yeah, I think you for sure should be proud of that. I understand what you mean when you say, talking to dudes sometimes it's like why it feels like they're talking down or different things. And I've
Yeah.
just started my business this year and I've gotten out and trying to network and do things. And it's funny because it's like, I went to women's networking. I'm like, okay, this is great. And it's everyone in
Yes.
that room is pretty much a gal's gal, right? Because they're all there to lift each other up, which has been awesome to even find that because society has definitely pitted women against each other historically. But then there are some events that I go to that are co-ed, and I just get like the heebie-jeebies sometimes, or they just
Yeah.
talk at me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm still a person and I'm here for myself. Also, please stop talking to me.
Yeah, and I get the double whammy because I'm in a wheelchair too. So I'm like, damn, bro, are you really saying that to me? I actually had a guy to me say to I had a guy say to me the other day at the spa. I was cracking up. He came and sat with me, which I found ironic too.
Mhm.
But he came up and he goes, oh yeah, like are you from here? And I was like, I am. And we're in Arizona, people, okay?
Mhm.
So it's right next to California. And he's like, oh, I'm from Los Angeles. And I was like, oh, and he's like Southern California. I was like, LA. Is it up there Reading? And he's like, he looked at me, I was like, dude, how could I not know where LA is? Like, you gotta be a monkey to not know where LA is.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it was so funny. And he caught himself. And then I found out he's an attorney from California. So I was like, that explains it. Yeah, I was like,
You're like,
when
got
he's
it.
my kind, he's my people.
Mhm.
We're assholes. We're assholes. We're arrogant assholes. But anyway, yeah. So, okay. So, what do you find getting into business? What do you find the most challenging of it?
I think the thought well, first of all, I laugh at Anna from like 6 months ago who started her business and what she thought starting a business would be, because it's 10 times all of that work that you thought it would be. You have to wear so many hats, you have to do so many things. And I think I thought, great, I made a website, I registered my business, clients are going to come strolling in. And it's like, that's not the reality of it.
Yeah.
Um, at all. And I feel like in this day and age, it is important to have social media, but it's also important about how you're using it and handling it, because you can have an Instagram, you can have a Facebook, but if you're not posting, if you're not engaging, and I've definitely been playing the trying this and then deleting it when it only gets like 3 comments, and I'm like, that didn't work, and then I get something that got like 100 comments, and I'm like, okay, what did I do differently? And so
Yes.
really trying to just test things and see where they go. I think I'm a very confident person, but jumping into business, I'm like, I think my name is Anna when I go out sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's social media for people. I actually had a buddy who messaged me today, and he's like, "Mayday, Mayday, I need your help." And I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Social media question." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I've got this video," and he's like, "I don't know, like, how should I edit and like what audio should I do?" And I said, "Gotta be honest, bro, your stuff is way too long. Like,
Mhm.
nobody can watch all that shit." I said, "Go for some short." Cut it, and I sent him some audios that I'm like are trending, and I said, give these a shot. I said, cut it short, do something funny, like kind of don't write a bunch of stuff. And I said,
Mhm.
shoot it out there. Sure enough, like he shot it out and it did great. And I saw it and he chose a hilarious audio. I was so proud of him. But it's
Mhm.
really about learning the tricks of the trade. If I were to help people with social media, I know, which is crazy. That I'm at a level where I can actually like give advice on
Mhm.
socials,
Mhm.
which I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. But post every day. I know
Yes.
it doesn't give who gives a shit if you annoy everyone. Like, people you're gonna annoy everyone, okay? You're just gonna annoy everyone. I don't give a shit. I post all the time. Sometimes I post twice a day. Okay.
Mhm.
Use your stories at the beginning. Now I'm at a level where I don't really necessarily need to use my stories, but at the beginning to boost all of your other content and your engagement and your numbers, stories are your best friend because they're not permanent, but they also, increase that algorithm, your professional
Right.
dashboard. I would also recommend, short videos with long text because
Mhm.
people will let it keep playing while they read. So,
Mhm.
that's another one. Trending audio is your best friend. Don't ever discount it. It really is. And trending audio to like one video, like I have one video that it took me, and I knew when I filmed it, I was like, oh, this is gonna go great. But it took me
Mhm.
30 seconds, maybe to film it. I don't know, maybe even less than that. And I'm in the air I'm in an airplane, and being a wheelchair user, for those of you that don't know about this, but you can't access the bathroom. There's no way for you to get to the bathroom because there's no onboard wheelchair a lot of times. So you're kind of SOL, but it doesn't really matter for me anyway because I cath out of my belly button, so I can pee pretty much anywhere. It's like a freaking miracle. I feel guys have a gift and you girls don't even know, but I do, and I will tell you it's incredible. They can pee anywhere. It's amazing. So, like, honestly, so I do this video and it's like me sitting on the plane, and it's like a 3 second loop. I don't know, maybe like a
Mhm.
4 second loop. And the text on it, it says like praying the guy next to me stays asleep so I can pee in a bag, like when I need to. Like, and I know everyone's like, pee in a bag? Like, why is this girl gonna pee in a bag on the airplane? And then if you click below, then I explain, like, I'm a quadriplegic. But
Mhm.
the great thing about it is it's kind of like clickbait, where people are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But then they learn about advocacy below. So I've gotten to that point where I realize those things work really well. So, that kind of fun stuff. Social media is a beast, though. People can be fucking assholes. Like,
Mhm.
legitimately. Like, I've got one video that's got like over 24 million views, and the comments are actually hysterical on it. But then also, I get some of those people that are just going to be disparaging about the chair. So you got to be thick skinned.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like if you're going to do it, you got to have thick skin. Otherwise, you're going to have some hurt feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Definitely. And I think it's important too, like you just shared, you have somebody who's like, Mayday, Mayday, what's your opinion on this? And even just the ability to do that and you be in that position is awesome because I've had people who I've met this year, I don't know them that well, give me that same advice, right? Or be like, make it a short, don't make a whole YouTube video, make
Oh,
it
yeah.
this, do like 3 tips for this, right? And then it works, but it's nice that people aren't, I'm grateful to be surrounded by people who aren't gatekeeping and who are willing to share that stuff with each other because ultimately we're all just lifting each other up to all be successful. We're all in the same place, right? We're all trying to make it work.
Oh yeah. I'm never threatened by other like influence. In fact, I'm going to Vegas next week with another influencer. And that's so funny. I'm like super stoked. So and she a female wheelchair user. So like, I will say this, like I definitely feel that camaraderie is your best friend. I have a wonderful support system of girls in chairs. We have a separate message, like, private message area that we can
Mhm.
all share tips, we discuss things, whatever. Anytime that I have something that I care about deeply and I want them to share, I hop on there and I'm like, hey, ladies, can you take a moment to like this, share it, and comment? And they always got my back. And so have your group of girls that like will support you that way too. That's always
Mhm.
super supportive. And then as soon as you pump it out, you tell them, hey, the faster you are at your responses, the better it is for me. And I appreciate you for doing that.
Mhm.
Obviously I don't bombard them all the time, but it's when there are things that I really, really, really care about. Because I've had, and that's the other thing though, is people can take advantage of your like offer, like um I got one girl. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll share your stuff. Just like tag me, occasionally when you got some stuff that you think is, oh my gosh, it's like 3 tags a day. And I'm like, what? I'm not, I can't, that's like me giving up my platform at
Mhm.
that point,
Mhm.
And so there's those things, and then people are pretty like, they expect things because they think I get paid a ton of money from this stuff. And I'm like, okay.
You're
I'm
like,
like,
I
but I
don't.
don't.
Yeah.
I
How do
don't.
you yeah. So how do you manage that? Because I've been on the other end of that where someone is, I think you for me, and they're like, tag me. And I'm like, I don't want to do too much. You know what I mean? And I'm not sending stuff 3 times a day. It's like once a week, maybe, and they'll repost it for me because they have a platform. But how do you kind of decipher that and walk through that?
Well, I get to a point, I'll share things usually once or twice and without a problem, like I will. If it's relative or not, as long as it's like not something I would deem offensive or something that I wouldn't endorse personally, that's
Mhm.
different. Other than that, I will give people my story platform pretty easily because I think that's great, and I'll write a little thing about why I'm sharing it and stuff.
Mhm.
That stuff doesn't bug me. It's like the constant, like, tons of tags. And, I'm like, well, I it's not really related to my platform. You know, I had a friend who I think is wonderful and I love dearly, but they're like, "Hey, I really want you to help me. I sell baby clothes," and I go, "What the? I got kids,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Like, my
Mm-hmm.
platform ain't for you. Like, you
Right.
know, no offense, but like, you're gonna." And I was like, "Please don't guilt me into doing that." But I was like, you know, and he's like, he laughed, he got it, but you know, I was like, I have to be a little true to myself. You know, I don't really do a lot of collaborations. You'll notice that on my stuff,
Mhm.
because my platform isn't for selling things as much as it is for connecting people and sharing information, advocating for people, you know, sharing these events that I host and encouraging people to show up. Um, that stuff's important to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That,
staying true to that.
oh yeah. I love, or dark humor. If it's dark humor, I'm gonna share it. I'm like, you know,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
like evil. It's like I'm so horrible. It's so terrible. I'm like my humor is so bad, but I love it too. I'm like, eh.
No, you're making other people laugh too, I think, in the process, which is something that I think also gets you noticed and out there. Like you say what people are thinking, but you also don't take things too seriously. And I know you've been getting a lot of hate recently for some stuff. And it's just amazing what people will do from behind a screen. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I think what's crazy, and the thing is, anyone who will go and read my platform will see the hate I'm getting. It's actually, it's kind of, oh, I've got some foster dogs you guys are going to hear here in a second. But that hate that I'm getting, ironically, is based on like false info. So it's like, and I'm like, I told my family, I'm like, oh, am I celebrity status then? If I've got false info rumors? I
Mhm.
haven't had rumors since high school. I
You're
feel so
TMZ.
popular. Yeah. And so, you know, people say, they're like, oh, Gina Shu said this. Gina Shu said, or oops, I broke my neck, which is my
Mhm.
handle. Oops,
Mhm.
I broke my neck said this. And I say, and people get on there, oh, she's a horrible person. And then I'm like, what? I literally like never said it. Like, I'm like, get on my stuff. What are you talking about? I
Mhm.
said the opposite. But you know what I say to myself? Oh, damn, that's good for the grant. That's been good for the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, because they share my stuff off. Pew, pew, pew. I
Mhm.
hate to see it, you know, being controversial pays. That's the other thing. You know, I don't want to tell people that because I don't want to contribute to that, you know, side of the world because I really do contribute to that side of Instagram, unfortunately. But that's because a lot of the issues that I deal with are controversial.
Yeah. I don't think
So
your
there's,
intent is
yeah,
to be one.
I'm not out there trying to dig, but I'm also not going to placate people. You know, like my big one is people get really pissed about the disabled parking. You know,
Mhm.
um, and oh, and they act like you know anyone as long as you have a placard you should be able to use it. I'm like, no, it's for mobility disabilities, and you know I understand there's some invisible disabilities, but it really tends to irk people. So
Mhm.
I mean, damn, you would think that you are taking away people's like house when you're like, I'm going to take away disabled parking from you. And they're like, God damn it. No, you're not. You know, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my God, it's just a parking spot. But, you know, they definitely,
It's a touchy
it's a
subject.
very touchy subject. But, you know, then I get to go and do cool stuff because, like, I just posted on one of the local groups and I was asking around. I'm going to host an event where people can show up and get their wheelchairs detailed.
So
So
fun.
I know, isn't that great? So, you know, that's the stuff that I really like to do. That's, you know, that's my jam. And I had this one woman tell me, she's like, oh my gosh, when you do this, I'm going to share this. She works with children with special needs and she's going to like put it in the calendar and send it out. And I was like, what did I get myself into? I was like, oh man, I better get on this girl. I'm like, Gina, what did
Yeah.
you do? So, I'll be planning that over the next few weeks, I'm sure. But you know, that kind of stuff I love. I was meant to do.
Mhm.
You know, I think for it, I'll have people like tip and the tips. There's a fundraiser I've been wanting to do. I've got a friend who's in a wheelchair and she got diagnosed with heart failure and she's got young kids and so she's wanting to go on a trip with them, go to Disneyland before you know anything happens that would keep her from going. And so I think that's what I'll go ahead and do the fundraiser for. Cancer, we raised $3,300, which was really exciting, and a
Mhm.
cannabis event, which was even more exciting. So, and that's the other thing you'll see on my platform is a lot of cannabis. I'm a huge cannabis advocate because I don't take prescription medication. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Love it. As we kind of wrap up, I just want to ask you, what is your future goals kind of for your platform and where do you hope to see it go this year?
So I am currently under contract for a piece of property. It is under contract for $1.875 million. And I should be closing April 17th. I also have some other money that I'm going to be. My grandma passed away, unfortunately. And so I inherited a little bit of money that I'm going to be investing into multifamily housing. And I found when I got into commercial real estate 4 years ago that it was extremely hard to find information for like little layman's like me getting started. And so I'm going to be sharing my experience with investing into multifamily housing in the Phoenix area. I'll be sharing my experiences. I'll be sharing my negotiations, the buying process, the remodeling process, the rental process, and I'll be like really breaking down for people if they're wanting to get into, multifamily housing themselves, even on a smaller scale, kind of what to expect. So I think that's where I would like to go. I think it's very important for me to also show the side of me that does business and
Mhm.
that is a professional female in a wheelchair that, also bumps up my credibility as I move forward. So that's my goal. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today and talking. Like I said at the beginning, you are a light, and I'm so glad that I got to meet you.
Thank you.